What's good, world? It's your boy Hitman D coming at you live with another video, man. Yeah, I want to come up here and address Liv Morgan, man. Well, she's expected to return in 2026, so I got away. I came up with an idea how we could play this out. I came up with an idea, so I'm gonna go ahead and get right to it, get straight to the point. Well, I read an article on Elite. I read an article on PW Insider whatnot, and it said that Liv Morgan had medical evaluation to see where things stood with her injured shoulder whatnot. So with that being said, Liv Morgan is going to be out for the rest of this year. She won't be returning to the rest of the year. She won't be out. She's going to be out for the rest of the year, and she's expected to return in early 2026 whatnot. So, we all know she got injured thanks to Kairi Sane injured her shoulder. I know Kairi Sane didn't do it on purpose, so I'm not holding Kairi Sane accountable. But I did say she needs to be more careful, wrestle more safe. But anyway, with that being said, I read a PW article on Liv Morgan's shoulder, and she's gonna be out. She won't be back no more this year. She won't be back the rest of this year. She's scheduled to return in early 2026. But if you ask me, I think Liv Morgan should return at the Women's Royal Rumble instead of like the beginning of 2026. I think she should return at the Women's Royal Rumble. Have her be the last entry in the Women's Royal Rumble. Have her be the last entry. I'm telling you, the fans would go nuts, and I would definitely pop like I never popped before. Because I'm a massive fan of Liv Morgan. I'm her biggest fan, just like I'm Alexa Bliss' biggest fan. So like I said before, I like them both equally. So that's the best way they could go out. You know what I'm saying? I think, have her to return at the Women's Royal Rumble instead of returning in 2026, because don't know if y'all know. I'm pretty sure y'all did, but if Liv Morgan never got injured, her and Raquel Rodriguez was set to drop the Women's Tag Team Championships to the Bella Twins. But I read an article saying that Brie Bella didn't want to sign to WWE. She didn't want to resign to WWE whatnot. So anyway, that's what was set to happen. And we already know we would have got the feud with Nikki Bella and Liv Morgan if Liv Morgan would have never got injured. That was set. That feud was set to start off. So Liv Morgan got injured. So like I said, being that this ain't the first time Liv Morgan has had a shoulder injury. She had one or two. She had returned from a shoulder injury in 2024. Okay, we all know that. So what I think is the best way to go out with this, the best perfectly executed plan I had in mind to go out, just have Liv Morgan to return as the 30th entry in the Women's Royal Rumble. Have her be the last person in the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm telling you, the fans would pop. Our down show pop like I never pop. I'll probably pop out my damn seat through the roof. But I'm telling you, this is the best way they could go out with this, man. This is the best way they could go out. And then, when she wins the Women's Royal Rumble, there's speculations I could go about how they could book Liv Morgan in a feud. She could destroy Judgment Day. Have her to destroy Judgment Day. She take them all down one by one. She calls Finn Balor the title. She calls Finn Balor to lose the title. And what she could do is, you could have her to feud with either. You could have her to go up against Raquel Rodriguez or Roxanne Perez at WrestleMania 42 for the Women's World title. You could have her to feud with either one of those two. I know some people wouldn't want Roxanne Perez to win the Women's World title, but I don't care. I'm here to tell you, I don't care. I want my Roxanne Perez being the person to the throne, Stephanie Bakir, for the Women's World title. But give it some time. Give it some months down the road. I say next year. If not Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez definitely wouldn't be a bad call to win the title from Stephanie Bakir. Although I like Stephanie Bakir better, but I like Raquel too. She ain't one of my favorites, but I like Raquel. But then you could play this up into a story, because Roxanne Perez already came between Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. So they could play that up into a story where Roxanne Perez is trying to come between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. But how it happens is Raquel Rodriguez turns on Liv Morgan. Raquel Rodriguez turns on Liv Morgan with Roxanne Perez. And you could play this up into a story going into WrestleMania, with Liv Morgan going up against either of those two for the Women's World title. But yeah, the story can end with Liv Morgan destroying Judgment Day. Liv Morgan be the reason why the Judgment Day implodes finally. No more. No more of Judgment Day. Liv Morgan could take down the Judgment Day by herself. First, she can cost Finn Balor the title. You know, Finn Balor wants to win the IC title, you know, and so she costs him the title. I don't know about her and Dominic. Could they keep her and Dominic together? I don't know. I'd rather Liv Morgan go on her own, if I'm being honest with you. I didn't want her teaming with Dominic to begin with. I'm pretty sure people going to try to say I'm hating on. No, I'm not hating on Dominic. Listen, I know my place as a wrestling fan. Nobody's hating on Dominic, so miss me with the stupid shit. So there are ways you could go about, speculations you could go about this. Either Liv Morgan can face off against Roxanne Perez at WrestleMania 41, or she can face off against Raquel Rodriguez at WrestleMania 41. If I'm being honest, I'd say Raquel Rodriguez, because Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez has great chemistry. And they had one-on-one matches, and to keep in mind, Liv Morgan has never beaten Raquel Rodriguez in a one-on-one match. So we could play this out until WrestleMania 41. If Raquel Rodriguez be the person to win the title from Stephanie Bakir, we could play this up into a story at WrestleMania 42. We could, know what I'm saying, turn this into a story between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, with Roxanne Perez in the mix. So we know when Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez faces off at WrestleMania 42 for the Women's World title, if Raquel wins it, Roxanne Perez is going to be by Raquel Rodriguez's side. So trying to think. Could Dominic be by her side and help her out? But anyway, Liv Morgan, she managed, and she dethrones Raquel Rodriguez at WrestleMania and get her first win. She gets her redemption match against Raquel Rodriguez at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania 42. She gets her first big redemption match. She gets her first big win off Raquel Rodriguez at WrestleMania 42. The grandest stage of them all, and she wins the title. She wins the title for the third time. She wins her third Women's World title. But her and Raquel Rodriguez at WrestleMania, her and Roxanne Perez at WrestleMania 42 wouldn't be a bad choice either. Now, although Liv Morgan is one of my top favorite female wrestlers, just like Alexa Bliss, and I do like her better than Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez is one of my favorite female wrestlers too, and I said before, Roxanne Perez is a main event player. I can definitely see Roxanne Perez having a match at WrestleMania. So if her and Liv Morgan collide at WrestleMania 42 for the Women's World Title, that wouldn't be a bad call. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section about my takes. There are 1, 2, or 3 ways you could go about it. Speculations you could go about it with Liv Morgan. But the way I'm looking at it is Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez have the best chemistry. I say one of the best chemistry because they're 2-time women's tag. No, they're 3-time women's tag team champions, 3-time women's tag team champs. And you know they rushed against each other. Although Liv Morgan has never beaten Raquel Rodriguez in a one-on-one match, and I want Liv Morgan to get her first pinfall off Raquel Rodriguez. I want her to get a redemption match against Raquel Rodriguez, just like I wanted Alexa Bliss to get her redemption match against Charlotte Flair. So with that being said, Liv Morgan should return at the Women's Royal Rumble, and she damn sure needs to be the one who wins it. She be the last entry in the Women's Royal Rumble, and she be the one to win the damn thing. She wins it. She wins it without a shadow of a doubt. She should be the one to win. She be the last woman standing in the Women's Royal Rumble, and you could play it up into a major story with either Liv Morgan versus Roxanne Perez or Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez. But she also takes down the Judgment Day and calls Finn Balor the title against Dominic. When Finn Balor and Dominic finally fuse, because I already know Finn Balor is going to turn on Dominic somewhere down the line. Tell you, there's speculations I'm giving how they could go about Liv Morgan's return. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Do y'all think Liv Morgan should return at the beginning of 2026? Or do y'all agree with me that Liv Morgan should return at the Women's Royal Rumble and she be the last entry in the Women's Royal Rumble and she wins the damn thing? So y'all let me know which one do y'all agree with. Let me drop your comment sections and let me know what you think. Because I'd rather Liv Morgan to return at the Women's Royal Rumble and be the last entry. She's arguably going to get the biggest damn pop. She's arguably going to get the biggest pop. I'm going to be at the edge of my seat. I'm going to be at the edge of my seat. Sure enough, I'm telling you that's the best way to have that's the best way to do Liv Morgan big return. That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to go out. We already in October. We close to November right now. Before you know it, 2026 gonna be here. Before you know it, we're gonna be in a whole nother year. So rather than have Liv Morgan to return at the beginning of 2026, go right ahead and have her to return at the Women's Royal Rumble and be the last entry. That's the best solution they could go with. That's the best solution. I hope they're smart and do that. Because let's not forget, they fucked it up when they had her to lose the feud and drop the title to Rhea Ripley. And I was beyond pissed about it. I didn't watch no more of Raw on Netflix after that. Because that was some complete bullshit. Liv Morgan shouldn't have lost that feud at that time to Rhea Ripley. I was pissed off. I was on fire. I didn't watch no more of Raw on Netflix. Triple H did Liv dirty. She didn't even get the chance to feud with other female wrestlers for the women's world title. He definitely did Liv dirty. Come on now. That was some complete bullshit. I ain't gonna lie, bro, but if Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan be the last two in the Women's Royal Rumble, it's gonna be hard for me to go against Alexa Bliss like that. So, being that I like Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss gonna have to be my backup pick. Look, listen. Call me biased all you want to. Say what the hell you want to say. When it comes to Alexa Bliss, I don't go against her for nobody, including Liv Morgan. Although her and Liv Morgan are my top two favorite female wrestlers, and I like both of them equally. But I'm sorry, when it comes to Alexa Bliss, you call me biased or what the hell ever. I don't go against Alexa Bliss for nobody. So if Alexa Bliss is in this Women's Royal Rumble, she's gonna have to be my backup pick. Fuck that. If Alexa Bliss is in this Women's Royal Rumble, she's gonna have to be my backup pick. Fuck that. So if it come down to Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan to be the last two in the Women's Royal Rumble, all I got to say is may the best woman win. So that's the only way I could put that. Because Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan should have faced off at WrestleMania 41 for the Women's World Title. And Alexa Bliss be the one to dethrone Liv Morgan for the Women's World Title in a great match and walk out the new Women's World Champion. And then we could have went on from there. So, man, but this is the best way to return Liv Morgan, man. Have her to return in the Women's Royal Rumble, and she be the last entry. She be the last entry. So, yeah, man, if Alexa Bliss is in this Royal Rumble, I'm not going against her for nobody. Fuck that. Not even Liv Morgan. So if it do come down to Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan to be the last two in the Women's Royal Rumble, being that I like both of them equal and both of them are my top two favorites, all I got to say is may the best woman win. That's all I got to say. But if I'm being honest, and this time me not being biased, me being unbiased, being that Liv Morgan has been out for a long time and Alexa Bliss has been back, it would make more sense for Liv Morgan to be the person to win. Because we got to think about it. Liv Morgan has been out of action for almost a year due to another shoulder injury, you know what I'm saying, by Kairi Sane. So if I'm being honest, Liv Morgan should more so be the one to win, being that she's been out. And she returned. But I'm sorry, man. Call me biased all you want to when it comes to Alexa Bliss. I'm not going against her for nobody. And definitely not about to go against her for nobody. And not even Liv Morgan in the Women's Royal Rumble this year. So like I said, once again, call me biased all you want when it comes to Alexa Bliss. If Alexa Bliss be in this Women's Royal Rumble this year, which is I'm sure that she is, I'm not going against Alexa Bliss for nobody. Not even Liv Morgan. And I like both of them equally. You know what I'm saying? So if it comes down to those two to be the last two in the Women's Royal Rumble, all I got to say to that is may the best woman win. That's it. I'm not going against Alexa Bliss for Liv Morgan. Hell no. But I'm not going to go against Liv Morgan for Alexa Bliss neither. Like I said, I'm not going against Alexa Bliss for Liv Morgan. I'm not going against Liv Morgan for Alexa Bliss. I like them both equally. So if it comes down to those two to be the last two in the Women's Royal Rumble, all I got to say is may the best woman wins. That's it. So yeah. So I'm gonna go. I ain't gonna make this video too long, man. I just thought I'd come up here and give a take how they could return Liv Morgan. And the best way to do it is just to, instead of have her to return at the beginning of 2026, just have her to return at the Women's Royal Rumble, and she be the last entry number. So y'all drop your comments. Y'all drop your comments below in the comments section, and let me know what y'all think. And if y'all like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on my notifications where you won't miss none of my videos when I post them. And with that being said, it's your boy Hitman D, and I'ma sign out.